benches, if you have them, don't need them, but step benches. And I did add my final 2 inches onto my bench. And I've been practicing a little. What I notice is not that much difficult, but I do notice I'm breathing harder when I have to step more. So if you feel confident with your bench, to some time, maybe today, maybe in a few weeks, to think of adding some height. And then also you have to add chair height to go with that, so you can still reach your chair when you step up on your bench. So I pulled out a different chair to use that has a tall back for myself. And then we will we'll use foam balls if you have them. If you don't have a foam ball, you don't need anything, but if you want to substitute, a pair of rolled up socks are good, or if you have a Nerf ball that's about 6 inches in diameter, that also works. But a foam ball is what we traditionally have used in class. And at the end of class, we'll use hand weights. So none of the equipment is necessary. It just makes it more interesting and also a little bit more of a workout in various ways. So, but we're going to start with some nice stretching today. And then you'll want your chair before long, because we're going to do some of these exercises once we get going where we put the foot on the chair. So, but we'll do some stretching first. So we'll start some figure 8 motions, and let your knees bend, feet about hip width apart. Don't lean forward with this, but keep your shoulders back over your hips, and then start to follow your hands with your eyes. So your neck is getting a little workout also. And a few more times with that. And then we'll just bring our hands in, keep the feet planted, but let your whole body rotate. Follow your hand back and forward, and following with the eyes, following the hand back and forward, each hand again. So getting that rotation throughout the body. Then we're going to take a breath in, bend the knees slightly, and then fold over. And we'd like the fingertips to graze the floor. And then let your head dangle loosely, straighten one leg, and then straighten the other leg. And bend. Now try to straighten both legs. It's okay if your hands come up a little. And then dangle. Stick your seat toward the ceiling. Then we'll unroll to come up so the head stays dangling. Unroll through your back. And we're going to reach up. And reach, and reach. Stretch along the rib cage, reach, and reach. And then separate the feet to a small plie and bend the knees. And we're going to do some ankle work. So shift your weight over to one side. Let's do a toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. And we'll come down, we'll shift the weight the other way, and we'll another leg. So you have quite a bit of weight into one leg and hip while we're getting the ankle warmed up. On the other side, flat, shift over, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, and shift, and that nice ankle movement while you're holding lots of weight on one leg. And we'll go back to the center, and then we're going to go a little wider with the legs. Bend, shoulders wide, and let's reach up and sway. Extend your wrists. This is kind of like washing the ceiling. And now we're really engaging the core and the thighs. We'll bring the hands around to the front, feeling the core, controlling that movement. We're going to bring the hands out and pulling back, and we're going to bend forward, keeping that flat back, and we'll come back up using the back muscles. And bend forward. Now this time, go and lower your hands and reach toward the floor. And we'll take one hand out to the side and rotate toward the ceiling and down. Other hand to the side, up toward the ceiling and down. Both hands out and straighten up. And we'll fully straighten each knee. You kind of bring the elbows back to widen the shoulders. This is to fine tune the knee, get the knee fully straightening. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the chair for some balance. So bring your chair where you're standing. The chair is sideways in front of you. And you can put one hand on the back of the chair as you need it. And we're going to lift one foot to the seat of the chair, like this. And then you stay facing me. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my position better. Use your hand as you need it. I'm trying to stand straight. I'm going to try to come up on my toe. So really getting some calf strengthening, supporting nearly my whole weight. Now I'm going to switch and lift this front foot. And this is where you might need a finger on the chair. Always trying for the least support you can get away with. So it could be a finger, 2 fingers. And now we're going to change that. We're going to stretch the back of the thigh. So a little tricky. We're going to hold on to the chair, take a little hop back, straighten the front leg, flex the ankle. We'll take this hand out here, sweep up, and then bend at the hips. See if you can reach your toe or your ankle. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, flex a little further. And then go ahead. We're going to reach up. And then that leg, we're going to lift it. And a lift. And a lift. And we're going to stretch again. Folding over, flex the ankle, straighten the knee, go as far as you can. Let your head fall towards your knee. A breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and flex a little further. And then go ahead, straighten up. And then we're going to lift that knee, reach down, grab, give a pull to stretch in the seat. And let's go to the other side of the chair. So we're going to lift one leg up on the chair, Try to keep that upright posture, and then going on the toe, up and down. Thinking of a firm ankle, weight toward the first and second toe. And then we'll go flat foot, and we're going to lift that other knee. Now you may or may not need a hand on the chair. Remember, a light touch with one finger may be all that you need. And a lift. And then we're going to now hold on to the chair, take a slight hop back, straighten your front leg, come onto the heel and flex the ankle. So I have a straight leg, flexed ankle, meaning pulling my toes toward my face. Sweep that hand up, a breath in, breathing out, folding over, reaching toward the toe or the shin, getting a big long stretch in the back of the thigh and the calf. A breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, fold a little farther. Now as we inhale, we're going to reach up. We're just going to hold that position as we lift that leg and gently down to the chair. So that's that strength and control. Slowly lift and slowly down. You feel it in your belly, feel it in your thigh. And then we're just going to bend that knee, reach down, grab, and pull. And then with control, we'll let that return to the ground. Okay. Let's stand sideways to the chair and we'll do another hip stretch. And then we'll go on to our bench. So go ahead, hand lightly on the chair if you need it. Bend your knee. And we're just going to swing at the hip. So my knee stays bent. There's no kick. There's no straightening of the knee. The knee just stays bent. My shoulders stay right over my hips. And you might get away with letting go of the chair. Or you might need a finger on the chair. And then we'll just do the other hip. So a bent knee and a swing. So good for control, good for putting lots of weight on one hip while you stretch the other hip, and that balance control. And we'll bring that leg down. And then we want to position ourselves to use the bench or to do some stepping without the bench. So let's get the bench into position, and then we're going to start with the chair at the side. So the chair, I have it, it's about the back leg of the chair is about at the back corner of the bench. Seems to be about right for me. And then I can touch it as I need, especially since with the increased height, if you have increased the height of your bench, it's always good to be sure you have the right chair in the right spot in case you need it. But we'll start with our basic step, which is up to the middle of the bench, a knee lift, and then the foot to the ground and back down. And we'll go the other foot. We'll go first now, a step, lift, down, down, and trying to build balance and control. So you can go at your own pace. We'll do this a few times. Be sure to breathe, because if you're on a bench, it really increases the oxygen demand in the leg muscles, and you start to breathe heavier. And a step, lift, down, down, and one more, a step, lift, down, down. Let's take a breath in through the nose and out. Now we'll do a step and then the kick backwards. So step, and it's called a mule kick to the back, and then down, down. So this will shift your weight in a different way. Uses for muscle toning, different muscles, but also for balance. It's a different shift in the body weight. Step, lift, going so that a nice gentle landing, because you're using that leg strength, so that when you come down, it's just nice and soft. And let's take a breath in and a breath out. Now we're going to try, we'll have one arm, we're going to try a step kick, always to this arm. So we'll bring one arm out, and you have one arm now, do keep a light touch on your chair. We'll do a step kick, down, together, step, and the other leg comes up, down, together, a step, kick, down, together, a step, kick, down, together. Maybe a few more times. Step, kick, down, together, and a step, kick, down, together. A breath in and a breath out. Circle the shoulders back. And let's take a deep breath as we open and close the hands, tighten the seat, and exhaling on the way down. Okay, and then I want to do some side stepping. So I'm going to turn the bench this way. And then for this one, the chair should be in front. So that as you're stepping up and down, we're not going to do any kick to the front. So this is a good spot for your chair. I find this is a little easier for balance, and for myself, I don't need the chair as much on this. So, but we'll start one foot on each side of the bench, and we'll do our step with a knee lift. So if you're on the floor, that works too. The reason to change position here is to use the hip muscles in a different way. And we'll step up and a knee lift, down, down, and step, a knee lift, out, out, step, a knee lift, out, and a step, and a knee lift, out, out. We'll do some more. And with that knee lift, to try to fully straighten the other leg, the standing leg goes straight. To fully utilize that thigh muscle. And let's do a breath in and a breath out. And see, even without a bench, this position of separating the hips, the legs at the hip like this, just starts to really engage those muscles. Then let's widen a little further, and we're going to practice stepping over the bench. And so first time, let's tap the bench and then step together. Let's tap it again and then step over, kind of wide, so you have room for your other foot right here. Tap and down. So you get an idea, especially if you've changed the height of how high you have to step. Now let's see if we can just step right over and add the other foot coming right over. And we'll step over, and it's like going to a side lunge. Now we're going to do a little leg lift, and now step over the bench. A side lunge, up and over, shift your weight, a little leg lift, and back to standing. And one more time, up and over, nice high lift, shift your weight over, seat goes out, chest forward a little bit, a leg lift, and then we'll do that big up and over. Okay, so I only see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, but you're all still standing, which is good. So take a breath in and a breath out, and we're going to set the bench aside. Okay, and we're going to speed things up, get the heart rate up even more with some marching music. And let's go with a pedal. Pull in your belly. The heart feeling really long and tall. And go to a little trot. And we'll try higher knees with the trot. And we're going to the heels. And we're going to transition to a stomp. And more of that hip work, stomping out and stomping in and out and in. Now we're going to separate legs and back together. Other leg forward now. Then back together. Let's take a breath in, out. And we want to go from toes out. Really use the seat muscles and stomp with those toes out and toes in. And we're still doing a pretty good stomp. And we'll do toes straight ahead. We're going to slow it down. And we're going to do toe raises and drop to the heel. So it's going to be up and drop, up, drop, up and drop, and drop. Keeping straight back, shoulders over the hips. If you want to take a stomp, jump, stomp, jump. You can do the drop, the jump. I want to get a little quick dose in, so we'll double time. Okay. All right. So 3 minutes of impacts and then a little bit of quickness. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. Circle the shoulders back. And now, if you have a ball of any kind, grab your ball, get your chair that you want to sit in. And we're gonna we'd like to possibly put something between the knees. And then what we're gonna do is feet and ball, or knees and feet are about equally separated, which is about the diameter of the ball, which is around 6 inches. And then we're gonna come up straight, lift the heart, squeeze your seat, and press your knees together. And just feel all of this contraction kind of right around the hips, gluteal muscles, thighs, and relax. A breath in, a breath out. Shoulders back, belly clenched, and then squeeze the seat and press the knees together again and feel that focus, that big contraction all around, front and back. And then we'll relax. And then we're gonna bend at the hips, chest forward. We're gonna cradle that ball. Let's bring the hands out overhead to get the back muscles to contract, get your stomach muscles to contract. Maybe take one hand, check your chair, make sure it's close by, and you're right centered in front of your chair. Then reach out again. Try for straight arms. I would say mine are bent 10 degrees maybe, my elbows. And then we'll slowly lower and we'll come back up. And let's come up all the way. And we'll bring the arms down. Circle the shoulders back. And we're gonna try something while we're standing here. Without using your hands, we're gonna try to lower the ball and get it between your ankles. Just using your feet to get it there. And you can just do this by standing on one leg, or you could, if you don't have a ball, it's fine. We're gonna just raise, we're gonna try to roll the ball up the opposite shin a little bit and down. And we'll go the other side. And bring one foot up and down. Let's try the other leg. Maybe hands out to the side for balance. If you're finding that a challenge, roll up. Mine, it goes about halfway up my shin and down, and we'll go to the other side. And roll it part way up and down. So trying to control that ball with your feet. We're going to leave it between the feet now. Bend the knees, reach up. Feel your back and your stomach contract with that reaching up. Check your chair. Make sure it's still centered behind you and close. And then we'll use the muscles to slowly lower your body weight down. And we're just going to bring the ball forward a little. We want the ball to stay here. We're going to do toes out, heels out, toes, heels. We'll take a breath in, exhale, and take the ball in one hand and touch the floor or bring your elbow to your knee with your other hand as we lift up and look to the ceiling. These rotation movements, lifting one arm to the back, are for the upper back muscles. Let's go to the other side. And if we watch the ball with your eyes, you get many more muscles involved with the eyes and the neck, and it helps to engage the back muscles also. And last one, we just alternated sides. And we're going to come back down. And now take the ball in both hands, reach straight forward, and use your back muscles to lift up. Let's bring our feet back in. Toes, heels, toes, heels. Bring the feet in close to the chair, maybe scooch back a little, and let's lift up again. This time we're leading with the ball toward the ceiling. Lifting up. We'll just leave the ball overhead. We'll do a side bend one way and a side bend the other way, getting different core muscles, the ones more out to the sides of the body, engaged. This also will get the muscles attached to the back. Bend both knees and make sure your chair's there. Maybe take a look, make sure it's where you think it is. And we'll come down part way. We're going to reach the ball to the front and maybe go a little lower. So we really want the thighs to be working. And now we're going to watch the ball go back this toward behind you. We're going to rotate on each side. So your seat is hanging back in back of you. Your thighs are working hard. You're rotating in the back, working on the back muscles. The stomach muscles are tightening. And then back overhead. And make sure your chair's there. And then we'll sit down. And we'll bring the arms down. And we've really started that upper body workout. Let's go ahead, bring it between the knees while we're sitting and come halfway forward in the chair. This is a good time to take off the shoes. If you're wearing shoes, I'm going to do that. Okay, and we're going to use this now for some hip muscle work and for some stretching. Let's circle the shoulders up, back, and down. Contract the belly, and then squeeze the knees together. And you want to squeeze hard enough that you feel your belly contract a little more. And you feel the inner hip muscles really working. And then go ahead and squeeze the seat. It's like we did standing. The seat and the belly are squeezing. And then we want to squeeze the urinary muscles like you're trying to stop urination. And so that's an extra contraction. And you feel your stomach respond to that also. And then squeeze the rectal muscles like you're trying to stop from passing gas. And then with control, slowly relax. And a breath in and a breath out. And once again, squeezing the ball with the knees. Clench the belly, squeeze the seat. Add your urinary muscles. It's like you're lifting off of the chair, the muscles right at the perineum, and then add your rectal muscles, squeezing. And you feel a tremendous amount of contraction all through this, ribs down to your hips, and then slowly relax. Breath in and a breath out. Reach back, hold your chair. This is and help support your back in a really straight position. And we like to just cross one knee over the other. And I kind of did that so this ball is trapped here. So this takes a lot of hip flexibility. You can do this without the ball if your hips aren't there with the flexibility. But if they are, or with the socks or something, this adds that extra flexibility. And then in this position, we're gonna try to straighten the knee. And this is where you need the back support to keep your back really straight. I'm pointing my toe, and now I'm gonna flex my ankle so I get even more stretch. And flex and relax. And then I'm gonna relax that ankle. I'm gonna uncross. I get back to my original position, and then I'm gonna go the other side. Thinking of crossing that knee over, and I use the support of my hands to keep the back straight. I keep using this support, and I'm gonna straighten the knee and bend a pointed toe, straighten knee and bend, and then I'm gonna flex the ankle and a straight knee and bend. a straight knee and bend. And I'll uncross again. And now I'm going to keep my hands back here, supporting me on the chair. I'm going to lower the ball to between my ankles without using my hands. So I'm making my feet and my legs do everything. Now I'm going to separate my feet again. Get the feet out there. And then I'm going to do a little kick ball between my feet. So kicking one side then the other, trying to kick back. So this is requiring your stomach muscles and your hip muscles, and then that foot-eye coordination. Kick back and forth. Okay, and then we'll let the ball come to a resting point, and let's take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to get some strengthening now by pushing into the floor. And if you have a ball, we'll use the ball also, but you can just push into the floor. We're going to start with the ball of the foot. So if you have a ball, it's under the ball of your foot, and we're going to smush it to the floor and then give a firm push, and you feel like you're almost lifting out of your chair. You're pushing that hard. Really a lot of contraction in the leg muscles. And then we'll relax. We're going to bring it under the heel. So just changing position. And then press your heel into the floor. Pressing hard, even lifting a little out of your chair. And relax. And then we're going to bring the ball forward a little. Now we're going to let's go ahead and circle in the wrists. I have one knee slightly lifted, so lightly resting on the ball. I'm going to open and close in my hands after that force into the wrists. And now I'm going to bring the ball under the ball of my foot. And I'm going to roll to the heel and roll to the toes. And so the ball, my foot is ever so lightly on the ball. I'm getting a lot of thigh strengthening and stomach work to lift that leg and control that movement like this. Back and forth. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the other side. And now I get to reach back, use the chair to help keep my spine very straight. Follow the foot, push firmly, push as hard as you can into the floor with the ball of your foot. And hold that push. Relax. Now we're going to bring it to the heel and push as firmly as you can into the floor. Pushing really firmly. And then relaxing. And then we're going to just let the ball take its normal shape and heel to toe with the lightest touch of your foot on that ball. Take a breath in, lift the heart. So keeping that straight back. So all the core muscles are at work as the thigh and the stomach and the hip are controlling that leg. Okay, and then we're going to take the ball back between the ankles again. A breath in, a breath out. And before we relax, especially the knees, we're going to do a little jumping with the ball. And again, hold on, shoulders wide. And let's just see if we can contract the belly, do a little jumping up and down with the ball, and maybe a little side to side. So getting some of the hip muscles more at work. Maybe a little front to back. Stomach muscles more at work. Good. And now go ahead and push yourself all the way back in the chair and lean back. And then with the ball, we're going to straighten both legs and bend. and to straighten and bend. And this is to stretch all the tissues around the knee, to stimulate the circulation and joint fluid in the knee. So fully straightening the knee as you come out. And then we're going to leave the legs out, clench the belly. Let's point and flex in the ankles, and point and flex, and point and flex. We're going to leave the ankles flexed. You want the ball firmly between your ankles, and we're going to do this very good stomach and hip strengthener, where we, with straight legs, squeeze the ball with both legs, or you can just press your ankles together and relax, letting the ball assume its normal shape, and then pressing the ankles together firmly and holding, and then relax. And then we're going to bring the feet down. Go ahead and reach your ball. Come halfway forward in your chair. We're going to do a little relaxation. So separating the knees a bit overhead. And we're going to turn to one knee and lean over and then touch that foot. Let yourself fold over, let your back stretch, let your head fall towards your knee so you feel stretched and relaxed. Then we'll use the back muscles to come up. So reach straight out with your ball, straight arms, and then back muscles will lift you up. We'll turn to the other side and start with the stretch, leaning over, reaching to the foot, then reaching straight out, and back muscles lifting you up. We'll bring the hands forward, and then we're going to bend the elbows. Watch the ball with your eyes as it touches the back of your chair. And then reach forward, straight elbows, bend, touch the back of the chair, and forward. Bend and touch, and forward, and touch, and forward. Let's turn one hand on top there, and then we're going to roll that ball right up to the shoulder. With this top hand here, push the ball towards your shoulder, and you feel that. We want to feel a strong biceps contraction. Unroll, other hand to the top, roll it up. All the fingertips stay on the ball, so you get a lot of wrist motion. Push with the top hand and unroll. We'll bring the arms out, a breath in, a breath out. Circle back, and before we go to the weights, we're gonna use some music with the ball, building, this is more building endurance instead of brute strength. And then we go to the weights, which is more the muscle mass. So sitting halfway forward in the chair. Loud. Okay, we'll start again. So we're going to start with the ball between the knees. You're going to have to follow new movement to the side. Down, side, down, side, down, side, down. Please contract your belly. Working on the core with those side bends. Now for the elbows, we go in and straight. Bend, straight, bend, straight, bend, straight. Shoulders, backward arm circle, other side. Press to the belly, turn, look back and front, front. Stretch things in, front and overhead. Now we're going to reach the one toe out and up. Reach to the other toe. Reach out the neck and up. So bending the elbows and straightening. Bend and straighten. To the front. Now that little turn to the shoulder, a push back out, a turn up, a push back out. Check your belly, make sure those muscles are squeezed in the belly. Hold. Now we're going to the floor, we're going to roll and catch. So roll, catch, lift, back, down, roll, catch, lift, back, down, roll, catch, lift, back, down. Last one, roll, catch, lift. Now that twist. Back to the chair, forward, twist, front, twist, front, twist, and front. Slowing down a little to the corner, to the waist, overhead, to the front, and twist like a steering wheel. Twist, twist, forward. Half circle. Up and down. And we'll take a breath in and out. So, a lot easier for people who've been attending class for a few years. If you're new, we do that kind of as a mind sharpening thing to follow along and try to repeat things that you may not be able to predict or know about, but it does get easier. Okay, we're gonna now move to the weights with lunges. Let's first do a deep breath, 5 deep breaths if you're not staying for the lunges. So here we go, palms out, and then we pull back, and that's in through the nose, out through the mouth, and out. To get plenty of oxygen to the tissues before we move on. 5 of those. If you're not staying, I'm getting rid of all my chairs, getting rid of the ball, and getting the hand weights. So we are going to start with a forward lunge. So you want to be to move back so that you can lunge forward. Okay. All right. So we'll step and it's to a flat foot. So let's start with a small lunge, kind of half of your usual. And we're going to hold these weights. Just let them be at each side. And I want to practice something with this. We're going to see if we can kick the back leg. So a kick and a kick. So a shift of all your weight forward onto that other foot. And then let's go ahead. And if your knees are okay, and if you want to, you can increase to what you think is your regular lunge. We bend both knees, check to make sure you still see a toe in front of your front knee. Straight back, looking straight ahead, and then try a kick and a kick with that back leg. Now, we're going to try called a hammer curl to the shoulder and down, other side. The shoulder and down, some slow controlled movements, contract, release, and then we'll bring both up and let's try that back kick and the back kick And then as we lower, let's bring the front leg back. And let's try a front lunge, forward lunge on the other side. We'll try half first, half lunge. And try that kicking twice. And if you feel confident, you could increase your lunge where you bend your knees a little more. Check for your toe in front of your front knee there, in case you need to adjust. And try the back kick again. And then let's go with our lift and lower, strength and control. You've just added maybe 6 to 10 pounds for your legs to support by having your weights. Let's bring both up. And let's hold it there as we do a kick and a kick. And we'll slowly lower as we bring the leg back. A breath in as we circle the shoulders back, and another breath in and back. Now let's do a squat. Squats are another one of those positions that we use for hip strength and bone density. So we'll separate the feet at least hip width, maybe a little more. Stick the seat out, and we'll let the chest come forward a little. And then we're going to bend the arms, and we're going to do a punch. So contract the belly. This will help the back from being overloaded, but we do want the back muscles to be working. And we're going to punch and punch. And right away, you can feel this in your core. Stomach and back working. Seat sticking out. I'm using my back muscles to hold my face forward, my back mostly flat as I punch and punch and punch and punch. And then I'll come up, and I'm going to step forward and do a back lunge. To do some other work. I'm going to turn a little sideways so you can see me, but you can just face the screen. So we'll be a back lunge, and this, so we can do a full back lunge, whatever is your comfortable lunge, where you come to the ball of the foot and then bend your knees and then adjust so your back is straight. And we'll bring the weight to the shoulder, bring the elbow back, and then straighten the arm behind. And then bring the weight to the shoulder and straighten back. So getting some great upper back work while we're also working on the triceps muscle, the back of the upper arm. So that full straightening of the elbow. Just a great overall strengthener for important muscles. Let's go, we'll drop that one, and let's go to the other arm. We're still in the same lunge. Bring that to the shoulder, elbow back, and then straightening the arm behind, and then in. You could also feel that's quite a pull for the wrist to support the weight in that position. Good for wrist bone density when you feel that kind of a pull. Really good for my triceps muscle. I really feel that there and in the upper back. Okay, let's drop that, and we'll bring that foot forward and a backward shoulder circle for the breath. In and out. Okay, now we'd like to lunge back with the other leg. So coming forward, and we'll do a different exercise. So we're getting that back lunge, big step, and then bend. And now we'll do some of that overhead reaching. First, make sure you see your toe in front of your front knee to protect the knee there. And we'll alternate. We'll come here and push straight overhead, back to the shoulder and down. Your palms are facing in, up. So slow contraction, slow release. And coming here and overhead, slow release, and back to the side. And here, and that reaching overhead, straight elbow, slow release, back to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and step forward. And a breath in, and a breath in. And we're going to go back to the squat, feet fairly wide. And this time, we're going to keep the chest up. So for me, I feel like, oh, my calves have to stretch a bit to allow me to get into that little bit of a squat. Keeping my shoulders back over my hips. My heels are still on the ground. And I'm going to bring my arms together like this. I'm going to bring my arms out. I'm going to lower them part way. I'm going to lift back up and bring the elbows in. Coming out and part way down and back up and in. So this is mainly for the rotator muscles of the shoulder. I can really feel this in my belly because of this partial squat position. My back muscles also having to work quite hard. Nice stretch in the calves. And we'll come down and up and back in. And then go ahead and straighten the legs. We'll bring the weights down and we're going to do a side lunge to work on some more upper back muscles. So coming to one side, we have the weights, which will be good for the hip muscles, putting a little more force. So a side lunge, the feet stay forward. We step straight to the side, a rather small step, so that your weight can just, we don't want our hip out or anything like that. Hip, knee, foot, all in alignment. Go ahead and drop the weights and then stick the seat out behind and the chest forward a little. We like to have all the weight comfortably on one leg. We'll lift the other leg, kind of see if that's working. And then what we're going to do is like a seesaw movement, pulling one elbow back and then the other. I notice a lot of weight on my one hip. With this pulling the elbow back, I'm getting those muscles of the upper back around the shoulder blade that help to pull the shoulders wide. So I kind of pull the elbow right toward the ceiling, the weight right toward my armpit, up and up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, straighten up, and then bring that foot in. And a breath in and out. And I'm going to lunge to the other side and do a slightly different exercise for the upper body. So it's going to be this leg coming up and over. Toes are forward. Maybe check in with your toes. Both toes should face directly forward. And I'm looking to have my foot, knee, hip, shoulder kind of all in alignment in a straight line. Then I'm going to stick my hip back and chest forward. Drop my hands here. Let's try a few leg lifts. Thinking it's good to have the weight all on one hip. And then we'll alternate arms out to the side. Elbows are slightly bent for this. So getting similar muscles between the shoulder blades and the back of the shoulder. So that's slow lift and a slow release, and a lift and release. And then I'm going to lift myself up and I will complete the lunge, bringing that leg over. And I'm going to set the weights down. And I'm going to stand, clench my seat, widen my shoulders, open and close in the hands, thinking of focus on the spreading in the hands. I'm going to circle in the wrists with relaxed fingers each way, thinking of undoing any pressure in the wrists. And then for my 5 deep breaths, I'm going to separate the feet a little, palms forward, pull back, squeeze my seat, and it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. 5 vigorous breaths. And then circling back. Okay.